Right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shelly Nelson. I actually wanted to do a video testimonial, however, it's just not working out. First of all, I want to say to you that, guys, if I can be alive today, your hope is not lost. All right? I'm going to share my experience with you of before meeting Dr. Gabriel Allen's team and my current status. Growing up, I always have had issues with bleeding. And as early as 2015, I remembered being told that I have fibroids. I am now 40 years old. In 2015, when I was first told about fibroids, I was told that if it's not a bother, then I don't need to do anything. After having multiple pregnancy loss over the years, in January of 2021, my worst nightmare came. During this time, I was bleeding uncontrollably. My monthly period became daily period. My daily period became a bleeding that no female wanted to encounter. And when I say no female, I mean I wasn't able to describe or to tell you where would the embarrassment come. I was known by the staff members of the hospital that the minute they saw me, they knew what I was there for. That's how bad it was. Today, I'm at the hospital. I'm in terrible pains. The bleeding is there. I have to be changing multiple sanitaries. And when I say sanitaries, I'm talking about maternity sanitaries because we were way past the regular sanitaries by this. Maternity sanitaries, as a female who have gone through pregnancy, you know how big a maternity sanitary was. And at no point in time could I have run the risk of wearing a single sanitary pad without it being like 2 or 3 being placed together. But yet still, it was still not enough. It got worse. It got worse. And it got worse. When I finally could not bear it anymore, at this point, I was at the brink. I remember not being able to go to work for months because I could not afford them to take on the embarrassment anymore. I could be here with you, and then by the next minute, I turned around, everything was at my feet. And it's not just the clots that came, was something else. When they were there and they could not be released, that was one of my main issues too, why I had to be going to the hospital. Because when the clots were there and they can't pass out, then this is where the bad feelings started taking me. I was in an AC, the ice AC that you can find, and I cold set will still be washing me. That's how bad it was. In no time you'll be seeing me on the floor because I was blocking out and all of that. All right. After going through a state of depression, not knowing what to do next, not getting any better, blood transfusion upon blood transfusions, it was just too much. I remember the one day I was at work and a young lady came by, she stopped by, she was viewing the property because, of course, she was a member of Dr. Gabriel's team. And it was my best day ever when I met Miss Jane. And I was saying to her, "You work at Apex?" And she said, "Yes." And my coworker said yes, because she's, of course, a cancer patient. And she said, "Oh, meet Miss Chin." And she made an introduction. And I looked at her look and said, "Oh, you were at Apex?" And I was complaining to her how long I did some tests, and even though it wasn't for her company, I knew she was some part of the medical field. So I was just basically expressing how I felt to her, not knowing that this is where my life would have changed for the better. She stood there, she listened to me, she asked me some questions, and she said to me, "Are you ready to be fibroids free?" And I said, "Miss, if it takes 1 million or two, I am ready. I cannot live like this. I have my only child, and I've waited so long for my child, and I'm in fear of dying, leaving my child to suffer." She said, "Don't worry about it. You will be alive and well to take care of your child." Ladies and gentlemen, this bleeding and this fibroids put me in a place where I was at home and I had to give up my child because I could not keep up. The bed that I was sleeping on, I could not go up on the bed without resting halfway. I had to go by. This was how bad the bleeding had me, and my blood level was really, really fighting it. I remember having blood level. My hemoglobin was like, I went as far down as 3. And I was rushed to emergency. I had so many transfusions. I can't even tell you how it became the norm for me. After meeting Miss Gina, and she spoke to me and she said, "Okay, believe me, I'm not exaggerating." She left Portland about 2 o'clock the afternoon when I last spoke with her. And by 9 o'clock of the said night, I got a video from her. She said, "This video is to explain to you the process I was telling you about." Honestly, I did not know the process. It sound really new to me. But at the end of the day, all I wanted to know was I was getting better. And I wanted to be free. I wanted to be free of wearing sanitary pads. I could not. I wanted to make sure that I could go to the bathroom and somebody didn't have to stand up and watch me because of how weak I was. I was just overwhelmed. I couldn't take it anymore. All right. When I met Miss Gina, she sent me that video. That was about 9 o'clock the night. By 10 o'clock the following morning, I got a call from her. She said, "Did you watch your video? Did you understand?" I asked questions and she further explained. She said to me, "Okay, I'm going to introduce you." I was introduced to Dr. Gabriel. I'm standing here, guys. And I'm going to say this. I'm standing here because of Dr. Gabriel and his team. I remember even the morning after doing the consultation, and the very morning when I was going to surgery, my blood level was so bad. And I said, I cannot take it anymore. I have to do this, especially for my child. I have done the uterine fibroids embolization surgery, and I have no regrets. I am I am emotional recording this because I saw myself going without my child. I saw myself leaving my child. I just want to say to you guys, all is not lost. After doing this uterine fibroid embolization surgery, I spent I went home the following day. Yes, we did surgery, and you have some pains. That's surgery because I've gone through 3 other surgeries. But today I can tell you that within 2 days after that surgery, I saw the difference. I felt the difference. When I came home that night from the hospital, I was able to climb on my bed without somebody helping me up. How have I been doing? I did my surgery on the 9th of June, 9th of May rather. How have I been doing since then? I can tell you. In all my life on this earth, I finally know what it feels like to have a period, as someone would say. I don't have to have a period and I have to be walking with bags of clothes behind me. I've been there. I don't have when I put on a sanitary pad at the beginning of my period and my days, I know that there are days, every day it normally comes. But even though it's every days, I can still feel comfortable going out there. How do I fit in my clothes? Yes, it has made me more confident in myself. That high tummy that I had is no longer there. My color has been restored because if you saw me before the 9th of May, you'd have wondered. A lot of persons thought. So they knew I was sick, but nobody knew, or people honestly didn't really believe that it was fibroids that was still doing me so bad. I lost so much weight. I was white. When I say white, I mean white from head to toe. Persons that I knew was passing me and looking at me like they're saying, "No man, it can't be Shelly that." Um, how am I treated since February, since my surgery or since meeting Dr. Gabriel? I do not, Dr. Gabriel, and it's a very strange thing, because as I said, I've been going to doctors for years. I do not get a call very often from a secretary to say, "How are you?" When I get a call, "Hi, Miss Nelson, this is Dr. Gabriel. I'm just checking up on you. How are you? How have you been? Is there anything that you notice that you want to tell me about?" He makes sure he knows how I'm feeling. I do not have to explain to someone else and then they translate it and he will have to query with me. He's there. I can ask him my questions. I can express how I'm feeling. It's I'm just really, really grateful for the day when my coworker took Miss Chin to my workplace. And I was glad also that it was one of those days that I fight the fight and I went to work. I wasn't allowed to be at work because too often I was embarrassed because of this bleeding. But that was one of the days when I felt that I needed to go on property, and I did. And I'm so grateful I did, because I am not sure if I would have met Miss Chin, much less Dr. Gabriel and his team. How would I recommend the team? Of course, a 9.5 out of 10, because nobody is perfect. A 9.5 out of 10, that's how I would rate the team. As however, my experience with my surgery, I will give it a 10. I have done 3 other surgeries, and this one I'll give it a 10. Why would I give it a 10 comparing to my other surgeries? I was able to go back to work within a week, within 2 weeks. 1 week, yes. I was told to go back to we work 1 week. I went back in a week. Light work, nothing heavy lifting, but in 2 weeks I was fully functional. As I said, it was my first time ever hearing of a uterine embolization surgery. I've never heard it before. I did so much research. I asked so much questions. And I just want to say to Dr. Gabriel and his team, thank you, thank you, thank you. My life has been restored. There are so many things I can tell you that I have not done over the past 2 years. Just imagine I live 3 minutes away from the beach. That was my worst nightmare. 3 minutes away from the beach. And because of my bleeding status, I could not have gone to the beach in over 2 years. I can go to beach on a weekly basis now, which I do as often as I am able to. And there are so many other things that I can tell you guys that I've really enjoyed since doing my surgery. Dr. Gabriel, I just want to ask God to continue to guide you. Just continue to keep you and all your members of your staff as you continue to make other females' lives restored back to their joy. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll always be praying for you guys. Thank you very much, Dr. Gabriel, again. Nice meeting you, Miss Chin. All the best to those who are yet undecided. Give it a try. Let him do it for you. You will never regret. I am available to anybody who wants to ask personal questions of my experience. I will never, and I say never, say no. If you want to reach out to me, my number is open. You can always give me a call, send me a message, and I'll tell you more of my experience since doing this uterine embolization surgery. I just cannot tell Dr. Gabriel and his team thank you enough. Thank you very much, guys. All the best as you continue to make females' lives a better one to live.